is that we have our next guest in the neighborhood calling in. He's been doing theater stuff for years and years and years, and it's always a pleasure to have him. Now you can find him writing for places like culturalweekly.com, artsinnewyork.com, and that's artsinnny.com, theaterlife.com. He's a member of the New York Drama Critics Circle, which is pretty hoity-toity. He's even a Tony voter and former president of the Drama Desk. He's also the author of 3 books, including Rage and Glory. Sounds like my life, but no, it's the volatile life and career of George C. Scott. Won't you please welcome back to the neighborhood, David Sheward. Hello, David.
Good morning, David. How are you?
I'm great, David. How's it going?
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
You're a little low. I've got the volume as high as I possibly can make it on our end, but if you can talk a little closer, stand a little closer to my computer, and I think that'll be just fine. So what did you think of this Broadway season overall? David? David? Oh no, our first technical glitch of the morning. I think we lost him. Hello? Okay, we're gonna call him right back.
Hello?
Oh, there you are. Hello?
I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button when you said the volume was low, but is this okay?
Yeah, much better. Thank you.
Okay, good. I'm very sorry.
Good, okay. So, what did you think of the season overall?
It's funny. A lot of people had said it's not one of the best seasons, but there was quite a bit that I thought was quite good. We had a lot of very good new plays, both American and foreign, and a lot of very entertaining, fun musicals. And it wasn't just jukebox musicals, which is a recent trend, or musicals based on movies, although we did have our fair share of those, but we had some very fine original works also.
And what about off-Broadway? Because I know you care, all the critics care about off-Broadway, but you especially have really been into both uptown and downtown.
Right.
So
it's interesting. Off-Broadway was also very vibrant, and a lot of what was off-Broadway eventually found its way to Broadway. Shows like What the Constitution Means to Me started off at New York Theater Workshop, and then it transferred into a commercial off-Broadway run at the Barrow Street Theater, and now it's at the Helen Hayes Theater and enjoying quite a healthy run. And also Hadestown was off Broadway a few years ago, and that's now on Broadway and is doing very well.
Yeah, and even the revival of Torch Song started last year.
That was off Broadway previously as well. So
your category is lead actor in a play on Broadway. Let me read off the nominees, and you can let us know what you think. Actor in a play includes Patty Considine, or Dying, I'm not sure, from The Ferryman, Bryan Cranston of Network, Jeff Daniels in To Kill a Mockingbird, Adam Driver in the revival of Burn This, and Jeremy Pope for Choir Boy. David Sheward, what are your thoughts?
This is a pretty strong category. I think that it's going to come down to Bryan Cranston in Network for a really amazing performance, and Jeff Daniels in To Kill a Mockingbird. And interestingly, both of them are plays based on or have been done as films. Network is based on Paddy Chayefsky's 1976, I think, iconic black comedy about the television industry, which was kind of prophetic. It kind of predicted sort of the crazy way that the media has sort of distorts things and has turned news into entertainment. And Bryan Cranston is playing the role of Peter. And interestingly, both these actors are in roles that the film versions, the actors won Oscars for Best Actor. Bryan Cranston is playing the role for which Peter Finch won a posthumous Oscar for playing Howard Field, the mad newsman who says, "I'm as mad as hell and I'm not going to take this anymore." And Jeff Daniels is nominated for playing the role that Gregory Peck immortalized in the 1962 film version of To Kill a Mockingbird. I think that it's probably going to be Bryan Cranston, but I'm sort of edging towards Jeff Daniels because To Kill a Mockingbird is the biggest hit, straight dramatic hit of the Broadway season, and I think that it's. I think I read a report that said it is the biggest box office earner of any non-musical in Broadway history.
Sure.
nominated for Best Play.
Do you have an issue with that? I mean, I think I understand why they chose other plays rather than To Kill a Mockingbird. It just, for me, the answer is that the heavy lifting was done by Harper Lee and Horton Foote and Robert Mulligan in the movie and obviously the novel, and that as craftsman as Aaron Sorkin is, he didn't have to invent that much.
Yes.
How do you feel?
He did make changes.
Yeah.
And not just the novel on the stage. So he did make it. There are some changes in it that some people have sparked a little bit of controversy during rehearsals. The Harper Lee estate made some objections, and there was a lawsuit brought, but it was settled. And also, the producers, Scott Rudin included, have kind of gotten themselves into a little bit of a controversy because there was a pre-existing adaptation of the play, which high schools have done, and which has been done regionally all over the country before this. And I even saw a production of it at the Stratford Festival in Canada last summer. But they sort of said, now you can only do our version. You cannot do this other version. And for a while they said, you know, you can't do anything because we're doing this show on Broadway and people might not come to see it if you do it in Podunk, Iowa or wherever. But in any event, so I can sort of see, so to your point, yeah, I think they may have wanted to give more honor to original works. It's not unprecedented for an adaptation to be nominated for Best Play. Grapes of Wrath in the 90s was nominated for and won Best Play in its year.
Fair enough.
But so I think it's between Cranston and Daniels, and as I say, I kind of lean towards. I think Cranston is the favorite, but I think Daniels might pull an upset because the voters may want to give some Tony love to Kill a Mockingbird.
Now, can I ask, is there anybody who you think should have been in this category?
Yes, I think Tracy Letts of All My
Yes.
Sons should have been nominated. That is Arthur Miller's 1947 drama, which is being done in a roundabout production. Annette Bening has been nominated for Best Actress, and I believe Benjamin Walker, as the son, is nominated for Best Featured Actor, and he's kind of favored to win.
But you're right, Letts got robbed.
Letts give a really fascinating and powerful performance as the father, who has a deep, dark secret. And in the opening of the play, he's this nice, jovial guy. And then very gradually, you find out he's really something else. And it was quite startling to see that transformation.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm so glad you brought him up. I think that's and last question, anybody else that you might have, if there were another slot in this category?
Tonys do not include off-Broadway.
True.
And that's something that is a big bone of contention from time to time. And if off-Broadway were included, I would have nominated Raul Esparza, who gave a really brilliant performance in an off-Broadway production at Classic Stage Company in a play by Bertolt Brecht called The Irresistible Rise of Arturo Ui, which is a play he wrote in the 1940s. And it's a parody and a satire of the rise of Adolf Hitler. And they Brecht made him into a Chicago sort of gangster who takes over the vegetable trade, the vegetable trucks in Chicago, as sort of a parallel to the Nazis taking over Europe. And Esparza, who has been nominated for Tonys, but is yet to win, has not won yet, is nominated for a Drama Desk Award, which are tomorrow night, and he is favored to win, I think.
By the way, you are former president of the Drama Desk, and are you still in the hierarchy there?
I'm not on the board or in a higher position. I am a member of the organization, and I still vote for the awards, which will be presented tomorrow night. And interestingly, in this category, the nominating committee for the Drama Desk decided not to include a single Broadway performance. All of the nominees are off-Broadway. Whoever wins the Drama Desk is not going to win the Tony Award. So in that race, there's no prediction factor like there sometimes are with the Drama Desk.
Well, I predict that you're going to have a wonderful Tony. What are you going to be doing, David Sheward, on Tony night? Do you watch on TV? Do you go? Yeah.
I watch on TV. Formerly, I would sometimes go to the press room and sit when I was covering it for whatever publication I was working for at the time, and watch it in the press room. And that was always very exciting. And the winners would come backstage and you'd interview them. One time Helen Mirren came back. She wasn't holding a Tony. She was holding a cocktail, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
But this year I will be watching it, and I will be tweeting my reactions.
Oh, what's your handle? How do people read your tweets?
It's at David Sheward 2.
At David Sheward, Sheward, and the number 2. At David.
Number 2.
Yeah, at David Sheward 2. So everybody check out his tweets. Everybody read David Sheward in theaterlife.com and culturalweekly.com and artsinny.com. And David, I just want to thank you so much for calling in to our Tony show.
Thank you.
Have a great one. Bye-bye now.
You too.
David Sheward, our next wonderful guest. This has just been rolling so wonderfully.